Well, guys, back on Project Drop Top. Got her over here makeshift idling at the moment. Got the temp gauge coming up finally. She's not running the greatest, but keeping her idling to try to figure out what's going on with her. She's running, say, on 3 of the 4 cylinders at the moment. But hopefully next on the list of this is to get the interior out of her and strip it to bare bones and get the top off so we can complete the whole rear of this. I gotta grab a welder in the next couple weeks so we can plate this off and fix the little rust hose it's got going on, which ain't too terrible. There's only one right here and decent one right here, and then we got the normal rust on the actual top. I got some tires on the way for it, coming from my company. Trying to get the motor running good, or get her sanded down and get her going back on the road and have a little fun little car. And then next up, y'all will see on the list is Project Great White. She's on the way of getting sanded down to get painted up for Christmas. We got some going on at the moment. Some sanding going down. Found a couple little rust hose, 1 and 2, that we're gonna weld up and plate and everything. And then later y'all will see Project Blue Devil. It's getting front bumper and the hood repainted. And I started on last night, but I'm gonna have to redo the spoiler. You can see a couple spots where it just didn't take the paint right. But eventually this one will be on the channel too, and we'll get her cleaned up and fix the issue she's got with air and fuel ratio going on, where she puts her in the lit mode if you give it too much boost. And then this one, like I said, Great White, she's gonna be part of the channel too. This is trying to make it into a project daily eventually, and then of course, you know, Project Drop Top. This is something that me and my dad picked up to kind of have fun with. When my son gets a little daughter, he come out and help with it, get her going too. It's not in the worst shape. I definitely bought a lot worse cars than this in my life. This side is actually in really good shape, but we want to rip the interior out of it. I want to take this out and do an actual full roll cage back. Of course, you know, plate this whole top off, and once this gets plated off, it only leaves you the access for the trunk down here, which is only got surface rush, which is nice, you know. Get that scuffed up, get it repainted. I don't know what kind of color we're going to go with right now. We might go back with this original color if we can kind of get it. Other than that, you know, rip the interior out of it. I want to do nice bucket seats up front. Maybe try to find either a carbon set of buckets or some Alcantara that we could do. I want to redo all the dash. I mean, everything works, as you can see. RPM gauge is working, fuel gauge is working, temp gauge is working. I'm not for sure if the actual tack works, because we never actually really driven it. The farthest it's been was off the trailer over here, or over there to here. I would say I'm pretty sure the radio works, but I don't think it does either. There's also no speakers. I do have the door panels to it. Just trying to get everything going. Look at that, she's idling herself now. She's not very happy camper at the moment, but you know, it is what it is. You know, we'll get her back where she needs to be. We're having thoughts about taking the little 4-banger out of here and doing a TDI swap out of a Jetta, a Mark III Jetta, or you know, maybe find another little 1.8 or something that we could shove in here out of a Jetta as well. and 5-speed convert it. You know, have a little track daily, fun little car. You know, lightweight. There isn't really much to these cars. Like Great White, she, you know, was going to turn into a track car as well, and we never really got around to fully figuring out what we want to do with her. She might end up being a track car. She might end up being a restoration, but time will tell. Like Great White, or not Great White, Blue Devil over there, you know, she's going to turn into a daily track car. I plan on tracking it eventually. Already got Continental DW SO6s on there for great traction. That car does not break traction even in the rain. With traction control off, it holds traction really well. Other than that, you know, we got Tow Pig back in the back over there that we're thinking about doing some stuff too. We haven't really made it that far yet. Definitely got a little hot. Very hot. Oh, sooner or later my buddy will be up here and he'll help me record as well, and we can get some better content out for y'all. I already got one video uploaded of the day that we brought Project Drop Top home, and on Thanksgiving when I was looking at the fuel tank and draining all the old fuel out of it, and just kind of going over it, seeing what we got, what we don't got, and what we kind of plan on doing with it. As of right now, plans are kind of held, you know, Christmas coming up and everything, and my birthday being today. We're just kind of taking it one step at a time. Like I said, I've got new rims, or well, I plan on wanting to get rims for it too, because I want to extend these arches out a little bit wider. I'm thinking about doing a slight kind of like wide body to it, even though, I mean, it's got a, as you can see, pretty decent flare to it, but I kind of want to go a little bit wider with it and stick some wider wheels on it. I'm pretty sure these are 185s on there, 185/65, which is, I mean, a decent wideness and tallness for something this size, but I think like a 205 or a 215 would look good on here with a maybe a 16 or a 17, kind of tuck the fender wells with it too. Other than that, I mean, she's in great shape for the 80s body Volkswagen Rabbit, or Cabriolet, whatever you want to call it, quote unquote a Rabbit or MK1. But she's not in terrible shape. Definitely want to do a lot more to her. We got to find a new window replacement, as the lady we got it from, her son's friend, didn't know how to open it and ended up breaking it, which is no big deal, you know. Not hard to come by. I'm sure we could get one. I don't know if the windows roll down or up at all, as of I don't have the window crank for it. I do have the door panels, like I said, but they're in kind of terrible shape, so we're going to have to get new ones. As you can see, this back one back here is just not in the best shape at all. The rear seats ain't terrible. I mean, granted, there's one big spot there, but I mean, the upholstery's held up pretty good for, as long as this car's been around, especially with the top being down for the last several years. Driver seats in rough condition. You can see, open the door. Passenger seats in rough condition as well, but you know, nothing that we can't fix. Take the carpet out of it, probably do new carpet in it as well. Same thing with Great White. I'm sure y'all, as my father has done some overview of Great White. He may have not, he may have. I haven't really know what he records, but you know, 1987 L6 6 Series E24 Shark that we call Great White. She's going to get painted a very pretty, I think he said pearl white metallic that he's doing with a blue flake in it. That's coming up here soon once we start getting the paint sanded down. As you can see, he's done quite a bit at the moment with it, but with this one we've already done a new dash pad in it, and of course, you know, this Florida heat turned it up, but we did a new dash pad. Previous owner that we got it from did a 5-speed manual swap on it, which is awesome because these cars are kind of hard to find with the manual in them. You see a lot of them on Facebook with automatics in them, and the manuals are kind of more desired. It's got a E36 bucket in it at the moment on the passenger side, and it's got the original E24 driver's seat in it. We did new carpet in it. We have gutted the whole rear deck, which if I remember right, my dad wants to plate the back off and do like a metal style seat in the back for like a track build. I'm not for sure on how exactly he's doing it, but I want to get in here one of these days and I need to weld this back up. I'm pretty sure whoever had this car before us broke that. But, I mean, for a track car, it's not that bad. It's got brand new cumulus on it that I put on a couple weeks ago. Got the same staggered lug pattern I've got, or not lug pattern, but wheel setup I've got. It's got 225 40 18s in the front and 255 45 18s in the rear. Same setup on Blue Devil over there. And she's got the one of, I believe it was like 1,500 of the AMG wheels. Those are special order. The lady that ordered this car brand new before I bought it from her special ordered the lunar blue metallic on it too. They only made 1,500 cars as well with that color. My next step is reskim the front bumper. We're gonna strip the paint off of it, which I've already got the lunar blue metallic for it. We're gonna get all the paint chips out of the hood fixed. I want to get the AMG grill for it and the AMG lip spoiler for it. I also want to go and get the AMG rear diffuser where it's got the dual exit outlet on it, and I want to get a carbon duckbill for it, a little bit higher duckbill, and de-chrome the whole car. Probably do like a metallic black or something on it. And then I want to get the AMG side skirts as well and fix the piece back here that the lady broke a long time ago. The car's got beautiful like a tan leather interior. It's got Porsche floor mats that are rimming, but the only ripping seat is in the driver's side over there. But she's been a real good car. It's got a just over 150k on her. That's a 2014 C250 with a 1.8 single turbo. It's got a little bit bigger turbo on it. Factory injectors, factory high pump or high pressure fuel pump. But that's going to get upgraded. It does have a custom exhaust done on it. It does have a custom intake done on it as well, because all the research I've done, no one can find an exhaust company that makes exhaust for these, or an intake company that makes intakes for these. So I did custom intake, which really brought the turbo alive, really brought the turbo noises it makes with the blowout valve and everything alive. The car sounds really good. It's got a downpipe into a cat out, just a straight out at the moment, but I want to do another muffler on it eventually. I'm thinking about either a Bula or a Flowmaster eventually to get that going. I haven't really thought about it yet, exactly what I want. This one's got brand new header on it into a cat, straight section into a Flowmaster, I believe is what he has on this. And it sounds real good. If I had the key to it at the moment, I'd start it up for y'all, but I don't believe the key's in this one. It is not. But he's got gauges wired up in this one for the tack, because the tack doesn't work at all. So, driving it legal, you got to at least have a tack in it. The windows do work, both sides, which is nice. It does not have a radio in it. We got the blower motor and everything in it at the moment fixed and working, but we need to recharge the AC, but we got to buy and find an AC compressor for it. E24 Sharks are very hard to find parts for here lately. A lot of people are just asking either a lot of money for it, or they're selling the cars that are rotted out. Like there's a couple here in Florida that I found that I thought about going after that were reasonable, but all the fender arches are either rotted out, or which these are a common spot. The window sills, they rot. But if you're in the market of buying one of these, you definitely got to look at a lot of the fender arches. The driver's side is mainly the main one that everybody sees that rots out. We had another 86 Euro spec 635 CSI. It was beautiful red. We paid 2,500 bucks for it it was a long time ago, a good 10 or 11 years ago, and it was in beautiful shape. The only spot on the whole car that had rust, just like this one, was in the driver's fender arch. And I think it had a tad bit, not in the front, but it had a tad bit in the rear window sill right here that was rotting out a little bit. But I mean, for this one to be an 87 and it sat outside for 9 years, the guy was trying to, he worked for BMW, left BMW and started his own shop like me and my father have. And he was custom making a manifold to turbo these. And this car was the test pig for 9 years. And he didn't want to sell it to anybody but somebody that knew what the E24 Shark was, or has previous owned one, or knows a good amount about these cars. And unfortunately, me and my dad do know a lot about these cars. We've had E28s, E24s, quite a bit of E36s. We've had E36 M3s. We've had E34s. I mean, a good amount of BMWs we've owned. Before Blue Devil came around, she had a sister named Black Widow. It was a AMG C-Class, early 2000s. It was either 2000 or 2001. That was a beautiful car. I regret selling it. It was one of my babies. But after I got Blue Devil, she got parked, and I quit driving it. So I sold it because I didn't want to see it sit. And I've also got another one other than this Mercedes. I got a 2007 BMW X3, and we also got a 2008 Mini Cooper, as well as which is not here, but it usually sits in that garage door over there, a 2023, it's either a 23 or 24 M3 Comp, full carbon package, beautiful white color, black wheels. It's a pretty car. Makes a ton of power, very fun car to play with. And that's the whole point of Blue Devil getting built right there. I want to do a bigger turbo, bigger injectors. I'm thinking about doing head studs and new pistons and rods and everything on it. And really trying to build it at least 700, 650, 700, have a good track, fun daily car. Same thing with this, granted they don't have a lot of parts to build the motors in these, but, it's still a little fun little car. And then this one, do a TDI swap, or we could do the 1.8 turbo and do a bigger turbo, build the bottom end, build the top end on it, put a 6-speed behind it, and just have a little fun Volkswagen Rabbit to, track daily, take the car shows, whatever we choose to do with it, just have a blast with it and go from there. Same thing with, the E24 over here, you can build it to do anything. They made a lot of track cars out of those. They made a lot of dailies out of them. A lot of people love the E24s, but to restore one of these is 40 to 50 grand, and finding one in good shape could cost you anywhere from 5 to 15,000. If you get lucky like we did and find this one from a guy that didn't want to sell it to just anybody, but someone that knew about them, you get a good base to start with. Now, this one is a 635 CSI as well, but it is not a Euro spec. This is our American spec, so it's got wider front bumpers to accommodate for America. Same thing with the rear. We did do the Euro clears on it, which is not an option for American cars, but we did get them for this. Next step is we do want to push the front bumper in and rear bumper to make it like a Euro spec. Now, granted, it is not a Euro spec, but we want to make it a Euro spec, especially with the big bulky bumpers that they come with in America. They make the car look hideous, in my opinion. My father might say something different, but in my opinion, they look hideous. That's why I want to get him, and it's pretty expensive to do that, but once we find them, we're probably going to do it. If we could get the actual Euro spec bumpers, I did find a white one just like this one. It was either 87 or 88, but it was a Euro spec 6 Series that was white in a field. The guy was trying to sell it with no title, which the only downside about that is here in Florida, and it might be in a lot of other states too, you gotta have a title to either scrap or junk the car. And if you can't get a title, then you can't scrap the vehicle. So I was going to buy another C-Class, like my 14 over there. It was an 09. and it had the AMG grill, front bumper, side skirts, and rear bumper, because the lady got in an accident and bought all the AMG parts on it, and none of them were paint matched yet, but the computer took a crap in it, which no big deal. I didn't really need the car for, you know, to run to drive or anything. I could load it up on the trailer over here and be done. But my plan was I was going to buy it because I talked her down to a really good price and take all the parts off of it that I wanted, and then sell the other parts, you know, through our business and the shop that we have. We have this shop and another one in town that we run out of. But my plan was to part the vehicle out of the other parts I didn't need, but of course the vehicle didn't have a title, so I couldn't part it out, and then after finished parting it out, I couldn't just load it back on my trailer over here and take it to the scrapyard without a title. And granted, yes, people say bill of sale, but a lot of people, junkyard wise here in Florida, at least in the Ocala or Bellevue area that we, you know, live close to, they won't take it without a title. And even with the bill of sale, they're kind of finicky with it because they might think it's stolen, which I get. You know, you see a Mercedes come to a scrapyard, you're probably going to think it's stolen too, or even a BMW, a newer body BMW. Now these other ones, they probably wouldn't say much too, especially like the Volkswagen over here, they probably wouldn't say much too. But being a 09 or newer C-Class like mine, they'd probably say quite a bit. But eventually I'll find a parts car for it that's got all the parts I want with the title for reasonable. I want to do a different interior in that. I'd like to do an Alcantara kind of like dash and seats in it. I think that'd look really good in that with against this bluish purple or the lunar blue metallic. I like to get a different set of rims from these AMG wheels, because being one of 1,500 rims ever produced in that year, special ordered for that year, I should say, they're like $1,900 for the rims, and I've only found one set, and they were in California, and $1,900 is kind of ridiculous for a set of AMG wheels. But, you know, special ordered, you kind of get what you pay for. Same thing with this blue. It is a very special blue, and it took me forever to find somebody that could actually try to paint match it and come up fairly close to it, because most of the colors you get in the C-Class like this one was a black, white, or a gray color, and it had black or white interior. I got the tan interior, and a lot of them, they all came with sunroofs. Some didn't, some did. None of them came with these AMG wheels, other than 1,500 of them that were special ordered. They do have another set of AMG wheels. They're kind of uglier. They're like a so mine's a 7-spoke. So if you look at the other rims on the newer, or same body Mercedes, but the different style rims, they have 2 spokes each section, and they just kind of look ugly. I didn't really like them. I'm glad they came with these wheels instead of the other ones, but I eventually want to upgrade and do something different. I want to lower the car a tad bit, probably like 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches, not too low, because I mean I do live on a dirt road and I drive the car daily, so I don't want to hit a bumper or something and mess up it. Like a week after I got the car, I actually almost took the front bumper off, parking at a parking spot with the concrete barrier that I got right at the end of them, and I pulled over too far, and I didn't know that the car sat as low as it does, or the bumper at least sets as low as it does, and I about took the whole front bumper off. So if you look on the driver's side, the bumper alignment to the fender is it's got a decent amount of what's the word I'm looking for? A decent amount of like gap right here. So you see the gap on this is not terrible. It's actually pretty flush. And then you look at the gap on this side, and it's a lot more open. Which, I mean, granted, I could probably, when I go to take the bumper off, I could probably suck it back in. But till then, you know, this car is kind of on the back burner. Like I said, it is my daily. These are more of the project focused cars. But give you all a quick update on all that. I hope y'all have a good rest of y'all's day, and I will see y'all in the next video.